the modern version of the stump-based farming system. In the case of Carbon-Agroforest Farming, which is the modern system of the traditional stump-based farming, 100 million hectares of Carbon-Agroforest Farming, or 1 billion of hectares of Carbon-Agroforestry with 10% of the area designated for food production, would be enough to feed 8 billion humans, or the entire world. Following this reasoning, the indigenous peoples of Brazil alone, and only on their officially recognized lands, have the capacity to produce 10 to 20% of all the food for 8 billion humans, or the world. 10% of the world's food, if 10% of their land is designated to Carbon-Agroforest Farming. 20% of the world's food, if 20% of their land is designated to Carbon-Agroforest Farming. The BIOS proposed Carbon-Agroforest Farming does not need to change location after a number of years, as is the case in the traditional system of stump farming. In the modern system of the BIOS proposed Carbon-Agroforest Farming, the occasional tree stumps are removed, and are used to generate electricity, fuel, biochar, and basic materials. In any case, any tree stumps are preferably removed, but only within the scope of Carbon-Agroforest Farming, which represent at most between 10 and 20% of the area with carbon-agroforestry. This allows for the possibility of using traditional agricultural machinery in addition to robots and drones. We are not in favor of using traditional agricultural machinery in carbon-agroforests, but this would be almost an obligation while the fleet of robots and drones is not yet complete or sufficient. Depending on the size of the carbon-agroforest farming circles or units, the ideal would be to prefer as much as possible the use of these traditional crops of the indigenous peoples. If the use of these traditional crops of the indigenous peoples were a necessity, this would represent a certain limitation, but one of very limited effects, when compared with the many advantages these offer. On the other hand, production would be several times greater than what traditional agriculture is capable of achieving, and it would also not require investments in machinery, fuel, and labor, for plowing and other typical procedures necessary in traditional agriculture. There also is no need to invest in fertilizers and pesticides, nor in irrigation. With the use of for the indigenous peoples' traditional cultures within the Carbon-Agroforest farming and inside the Carbon-Agroforestry, and with the resulting biotic pump or atmospheric moisture biotic pump, irrigation would not be necessary. In case of emergency, dedicated or typical agricultural drones could deliver 100 liters or more per trip from a nearby tank or river. In any case, production would or could be extremely varied and, above all, continuous, even for the various combined crops, all year round, including possibly day and night, and storage and treatments and chemicals and toxins related to storage would be avoided or minimized. Certain of these varied and continuous productions can be cooked or preserved on site, and can also be transported and distributed, this without the need for a very important fleet of boats or vehicles. A minimal number of ultralight robots or drones could produce far more than a fleet of heavy and advanced machines, with any fleet of heavy and advanced machinery requiring a highly skilled and busy labor. The healthiest hearts and brains in the world? We should not forget that the indigenous Tsimane people of the Bolivian Amazon are known worldwide for having the healthiest hearts in the world, as well as brains that age 7 times more slowly than in the case of any other industrialized population. These findings deserve far more research and attention, but even so, they may well highlight the crucial importance of a diet of the type carbon-agroforest diet, based on natural and whole food sourced from carbon-agroforestry, to prevent heart and cognitive diseases. This aspect is the subject of several of our other videos, related to agroforest health, and the production of food from these carbon-agroforests deserves to receive certificates, and the foods themselves deserve to be certified, and both deserve the hashtag certified carbon-agroforestry.